First one is basics of topographical maps. What is a topographical map? Options are a map showing only political boundaries, a map representing Earth's surface with contour lines, a map depicting weather weather conditions, a map showing only transportation routes. Here the correct answer will be topography, a map representing Earth's surface with contour lines. Topographic means Earth's surface. Question number 2. Which feature is commonly used to indicate elevation on a topographical map? Isotherms, contour lines, isobars, latitudes. Here the right answer will be contour lines. Contour lines is the equal altitude line. Question number 3. The difference in elevation between two adjacent contour lines is called contour gradient, contour interval, elevation gap, slope index. Here the right answer will be contour interval. Question number 4. What does closely spaced contour lines indicate? A flat plain, a steep slope, a valley, a river basin. Here the right answer will be steep slope. Question 5. What is the scale of a typical survey of India topographical map? 1:50,000, 1:1 lakh, 1:25,000, 1:5 lakh. Here the right answer will be 1:50,000. Contours and elevation. A contour line that forms a closed loop with no other contour inside represents a mountain peak, a depression, a river, a flat plain. Here the right answer will be a mountain peak. A contour with hatcher marks, small inward lines, indicate a peak, a depression, a river valley, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a depression. Question 8. The rule that contour lines never cross each other implies each point on a contour line has a different elevation. Contour lines represent different altitudes. 2 points cannot have the same height. Elevation is measured at sea level. Here the right answer will be contour lines represent different altitudes. Question number 9. If a river cuts through contour lines, the V shape formed by the contours points upstream, downstream, perpendicular to the river, parallel to the river. Here the right answer will be upstream. Question number 10. A gentle slope is represented by widely spaced contour lines, closely spaced contour lines forming a triangle intersecting contour lines. Here the right answer will be widely spaced contour lines. Symbols and legends. Which symbol is used for a permanent stream on a topographical map? Solid blue line, dotted blue line, dashed black line, red line. Here the right answer will be solid blue line. Question 12. The color green on a topographical map usually represents water bodies, forest and vegetation, roads and highways, industrial areas. Here the correct answer will be forests and vegetation. Question 13. Which symbol represents a railway line? Single black line, parallel black lines with cross marks, dashed black line, dotted red line. Here the right answer will be parallel black lines with cross marks. Question 14. Benchmarks on a topographical map are used for measuring distances, indicating precise elevation points, representing forest areas, showing road intersections, indicating precise elevation points. Question 15. A broken black line on a topographical map typically represents a main road, a footpath or trail, a river, a railway track. Here the right answer will be a footpath or trail. Coordinate systems and scale. What does the term map scale refers to? The distance between two contour lines, the relationship between distance on a map and the actual distance on the ground, the height of a mountain, the depth of a river. Here the right answer will be the relationship between distance on a map and the actual distance on the ground. Question number 17. A scale of 1:25,000 means 1 semi on the map represents 25,000 semi on the ground. 1 semi on the map represents 25,000 meters on the ground. 1 meter on the map represents 25,000 meters on the ground. 1 kimi on the map represents 25,000 kimi on the ground. Here the right answer will be 1 semi on the map represents 25,000 centimeter on the ground. But here the correct answer is option A, C, D other than B. Here 1 centimeter and 25,000 meter, these two will be the same in unit, then it will be right. Meter, meter, kimi, kimi. Okay. Question number 18. What is the full form of UTM in coordinate systems? Universal Transverse Marker, United Topographic Measurement, Uniform Terrain Map, Universal Topographical Method. Here the right answer will be Universal Transverse Marker. 19. Latitude lines are parallel to the equator, perpendicular to longitude lines, converging at the poles both A and B. Here the right answer will be both A and B, because parallel to the equator and perpendicular to longitude lines. Question 20. Longitude lines converge at the equator, the north and south pole, the prime meridian, the Tropic of Cancer. Here the right answer will be north and south pole. Drainage patterns and water features. A dendritic drainage pattern resembles a tree-like structure, a circular pattern, a rectangular grid, a radial pattern. Here the right answer will be a tree-like structure. Question 22. A trellis drainage pattern develops in areas with uniform rock resistance, alternate bands of hard and soft rock, karst topographic, volcanic region. Here the right answer will be alternate bands of hard and soft rocks. Question 23. A radial drainage pattern. A radial drainage patterns forms around a valley, a mountain peak or volcano, a river delta, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a mountain peak or volcano. Question 24. Contours forming a V shape with the point upstream indicate a ridge, a river valley, a depression, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a river valley. Question 25. The term meandering refers to straight river channels, curved or looping river courses, dry river beds, underground drainage. Here the right answer will be curved or looping river courses. Landforms and relief features. A mesa is best described as a steep-sided, flat-topped landform, a narrow valley, a cone-shaped hill, a submerged coastal landform. So the right answer will be a steep-sided, flat-topped landform. Question 27. A U-shaped valley is typically formed by a river, glacier, wind erosion, coastal waves. Here the right answer will be glacier. V-shaped valley created by river. Question 28. What does a spar indicate on a topographical map? A ridge extending into lower ground, a river valley, a depression, a sand dune. Here the right answer will be a ridge extending into lower ground. Question 29. The term knoll refers to a large mountain range, a small rounded hill, a river delta, a deep trench. Here the right answer will be a small rounded hill. Question 30. The presence of hatchet contours indicates a depression, a peak, a river valley, a saddle. Here the right answer will be a depression. Practical applications and survey techniques. What does GPS stand for? Global Positioning System, Geographical Plotting Scale, General Purpose Survey, Ground Positioning Satellite. Here the right answer will be Global Positioning System. Question 32. Theodolite is used for measuring horizontal and vertical angles, measuring atmospheric pressure, finding the depth of rivers, identifying mineral composition. The right answer will be measuring horizontal and vertical angles. Question 33. Which instrument is primarily used for labeling in topographical surveys? Barometer, dumpy level, altimeter, hygrometer. Here the right answer will be dumpy level. And the principle of triangulation is used in compass surveying, GPS mapping, aerial photography, topographical surveying. Here the right answer will be topographical surveying. Which technique is commonly used for remote sensing in topographical mapping? Sonar, radar, lidar, seismography. Here the right answer will be lidar. Contour interpretation and elevation measurement. Question 36. The highest point on a topographical map is usually marked as a benchmark, a spot height, a trigonometrical station, and index contour. Here the right answer will be a trigonometrical station. Question 37. If the contour interval is 20 meters and there are 5 contour lines, what is the total elevation difference? 40 meters, 60 meter, 80 meter, 100 meter. Here the right answer will be 100 meter. Question 38. A convex slope on a topographical map is indicated by contours that are widely spaced at the bottom and closer at the top. Contours that are evenly spaced. Contours that are closely spaced at the bottom and wider on the top. Intersecting contours. So the right answer will be contours that are widely spaced at the bottom and closer at the top. Concave slope is indicated by closely spaced contours at the bottom gradually widening towards the top. Evenly spaced contours forming a loop, contours intersecting at an angle. Here the right answer will be closely spaced contours at the bottom gradually widening towards the top. A saddle or col between two peaks is represented by a depression contour, two sets of closed contours at the same elevation, closely packed parallel contours forming an M shape. Here the right answer will be two sets of closed contours at the same elevation. Geological and geomorphological features. A cuesta is characterized by a steep slope on the side and a gentle slope on the other, a symmetrical hill, a sharp cliff face, a circular depression. Here the right answer will be a steep slope on one side and a gentle slope on the other. Question 42. Which feature indicates a volcanic cone on a topographical map? Concentric closed contours with increasing elevation, V-shaped contours pointing downhill, randomly spaced contour lines, contours forming an irregular shape. Here the right answer will be concentric closed contours with increasing elevation. Question 43. A fault scarp is represented on a topographical map by a series of closely spaced parallel contours, a widely spaced contours, a single steep slope with a hard sharp break, a depression with hatchet contours. Here the right answer will be a single steep slope with a sharp break. Question 44. A peneplain is best described as a nearly level land surface created by erosion, a steep-sided valley, a deep sea trench, a volcanic plateau. Here the right answer will be a nearly level land surface created by erosion. Question 45. What is a drumlin? A steep-sided canyon, a glacially formed elongated hill, a volcanic cone, a coastal sand dune. Here the right answer will be glacially formed elongated hill. Mapping techniques and survey methods. Which survey technique is used to measure elevation in topographical mapping? Triangulation, GPS, altimetry, leveling, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Question 47. Aerial photography helps in measuring atmospheric pressure, creating high-resolution topographical maps, mapping underground rivers, studying tectonic activity. Here the right answer will be creating high-resolution topographical maps. Question 48. Which method is used for mapping underwater topography? Radar sensing, lidar scanning, sonar mapping, thermographic imaging. Here the right answer will be sonar mapping. Question 49. GIS software is used in topographical mapping for data analysis and visualization, predicting weather patterns, measuring magnetic fields, classifying soil types. Here the right answer will be data analysis and visualization. Question number 50. Which instrument is used for precise elevation measurement? Barometer, dumpy level, seismometer, planimeter. Here the right answer will be dumpy level. Question category remote sensing and digital mapping. Question number 51. Satellite imagery is useful in topographical mapping because it provides real-time elevation changes, high-resolution images of large areas, direct measurement of contour intervals, only temperature variations. Here the right answer will be high-resolution images of large areas. High-resolution image means best detailed image where the pixel size is small pixel size means high resolution. Okay. Question 52. Which remote sensing technique is most accurate for digital elevation models? Means DEM. Sonar, LiDAR, radar, infrared sensing. Here the correct answer will be LiDAR. LiDAR means light detection and ranging, whether radar means radio detection and ranging. Question 53. DEM digital elevation model is primarily used for showing soil types, representing terrain elevation digitally, measuring sea surface temperature, identifying atmospheric pressure changes. Here the right answer will be representing terrain elevation digitally. Whether the DEM full form is digital elevation model. Elevation means altitude. Question 54. Which satellite is commonly used for topographical mapping? Landsat, INSAT, NOAA, IRNSS. Here the right answer is Landsat. Question 55. What is the function of a GPS receiver in mapping? Determining exact location and elevation, predicting weather patterns, measuring soil moisture, detecting magnetic anomalies. Here the right answer will be determining exact location and elevation. GPS full form is Global Positioning System. Here the position means location means latitude and longitude. Question 56 of the category Advanced Contour Analysis. Contour lines that form concentric circles with decreasing elevation toward the center indicate a peak, a valley, a depression, a plateau, a depression. Concentric circle with decreasing elevation means at the middle there is low elevation, that's its depression. If concentric circles with increasing elevation, that will be peak, because elevation is increasing towards the center. Question 57. If two contour lines merge into one, it indicates a vertical cliff, a gentle slope, a river valley, a ridge. Here the right answer will be a vertical cliff. Means if at a same place there is high altitude, that is relative relief is high, that shows the cliff, where the vertical elevation is more. Question 58. If a river crosses a contour line, the water always flows in the direction of the contour V, opposite of the contour V, parallel to contour lines, perpendicular to elevation points. Here the right answer will be opposite to contour V. Think that this is a river. It is flowing towards this direction. The contour lines will be this set. Means here the elevation, if the elevation is 50 meter, the same elevation 50 meter will be towards the opposite direction of the flow. This will be 49, this will be 48, and like this, and this will be 50. So the answer is opposite to the contour V, means contour is V shaped, opposite to the contour is the V is the flow direction. This is V and flow direction will be towards this. Okay. Question 59. A series of parallel contour lines that are evenly spaced indicates uniform slope, a depression, a fault line, a river valley. Here the right answer will be uniform slope. Think that the contour lines are like this. Then you have to understand that here the uniform slope means this contour to this contour, the gradient or slope is same, this contour and this contour is same, means every contour intervals there are same slope, so that's called as uniform slope. The contours that create an M or W pattern indicate a hanging valley, a series of ridges and valleys, a sharp turn in a river, a volcanic crater. Here the right answer will be a series of ridges and valleys. Map projections and scale. Which projection is commonly used for topographical maps? Mercator projection, conic projection, cylindrical projection, Robinson projection. Here the right answer will be conic projection. Which scale type is found on topographical maps? Numerical scale, graphical or bar scale, verbal scale, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Question 63. What is the advantage of graphical scale on a topographical map? It remains accurate even when the map is enlarged or reduced. It provides a mathematical relationship. It only works for small scale maps. It represents distances in miles only. Here the right answer will be it remains accurate even when the map is enlarged or reduced. Question 64. Large scale maps cover small areas in great detail. Large areas with minimal detail the entire world, only political boundaries. Here the right answer will be small areas in great detail. Large scale and larger resolution means smaller pixel size. Smaller pixel size means small areas with great detail. Like that, Sentinel image has 10 meter pixel size and Landsat image has 30 meter pixel size. So we can say that Sentinel image can give more details. Question 65. A small scale topographical map typically has a scale of 1:10,000, 50,000 to 1,50,500. Here the right answer will be 1:250,000. It's called as small scale. Here large scale image is 1:500. Means if you think that 1 meter represents 500 meter and here 1 meter represents 2,50,000 meter means 2.5 kilometer. Here 1 meter to 0.5 meter, 0.5 kimi. Here 1 meter to 2.5 kimi. Okay. Historical and theoretical aspects. Question 66. Who is considered the father of modern cartography? Ptolemy, Gerardus Mercator, Al-Idrisi, John Snow. Here the right answer will be Gerardus Mercator. On the basis of his name, Mercator projections named, right? Question 67. The first topographical surveys were conducted using drones, aerial photography, chain surveying, satellite imagery. Here the right answer will be chain surveying, because at that time drones, aerial photography and satellite imagery was not present. So chain surveying means manual surveying was taken place in the previous time at the starting of the topographical surveys or topographical maps. Question 68. The Survey of India was established in 1747, 1767, 1857, 1905. Here the right answer will be 1767. The first large-scale topographical survey of India was conducted by James Rennell, William Lambton, George Everest, Alexander von Humboldt. Here the right answer will be William Lambton. Question 70. The Great Trigonometrical Survey of India aimed to map political boundaries, measure the Earth's curvature and create accurate maps, identify major rivers, calculate monsoon patterns. So the right answer will be measure the Earth's curvature and create accurate maps is the aims of Great Trigonometrical Survey of India. Practical applications of topographical maps. Question 71. Which profession commonly uses topographical maps? Urban planners, engineers, environmentalists, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Means every plans depends on the topography of any area, whether it is high slope, low slope, whether it is mountainous or plain area or plateau area. So it is very much important for planning purposes. Question 72. Which disaster management application relies heavily on topographical maps? Earthquake response planning, flood forecasting, landslide risk assessment, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. As I told earlier that every planning, every rescue operation, every assessment, elevation or the topographic features are very much important. Whether it is risk assessment of landslide, flood forecasting, whether it is earthquake response planning or evacuation plan, everything. Question 73. The military uses topographical maps primarily for navigating rough terrain, locating enemy positions, planning logistics, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Means navigating rough terrain, locating enemy positions, planning logistics, everything. Question 74. Which GIS tool is often used to analyze topographical map? ArcGIS, QGIS, Google Earth Engine, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. ArcGIS, QGIS, these two are GIS software and Google Earth Engine is a cloud computing software. Using all these platforms you can work for GIS tool to analyze topographical maps. Question 75. Which of the following best describes the relief on a topographical map? The difference between the highest and lowest elevation, the color coding of features, the pattern of rivers, the location of settlements. So the right answer will be the difference between the highest and lowest elevation is the relative relief of any topographical map. Remote sensing and digital mapping. Question 76. Which sensor type is most commonly used for creating digital elevation models? Optical sensors, synthetic aperture radar, microwave sensors, seismic sensors. Here the right answer will be synthetic aperture radar or SAR. SAR data is very much useful for elevation mapping. Others optical sensors that are very much used for environmental mapping or earth surface mapping. Only the surface features. Microwave is one type of SAR in synthetic aperture radar. So it is, and seismic sensors are for the seismological analysis. So here the more accurate answer will be SAR or synthetic aperture radar. Question 77. What is the primary function of GPS in topographical mapping? To provide real-time positioning, to determine atmospheric pressure, to measure vegetation cover, to estimate annual rainfall. Here the right answer will be to provide real-time positioning. GPS is global positioning system. So here the right answer will be positioning, real-time positioning. Question 78. LiDAR or light detection and ranging. LiDAR is useful in topographical mapping for measuring land elevation, identifying underwater features, estimating wind speeds, calculating ocean currents. Here the right answer will be measuring land elevation. Using the principle of light, this was done. Whether for in case of radar, radio waves, and here the light, and in case of sonar, sound detection and ranging, that are using the sonar. Question 79. 9. Which software is best suited for processing satellite imagery in topographical analysis? NV, ADAS, Imagine, Google Earth Engine, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Question 80. What type of topographical feature is best detected using radar imaging? Steep mountain slopes, coastal erosion patterns, underground cave systems, glacial movement. Here the right answer will be glacial movement. Contour lines and elevation. Question 81. The point where two contour lines cross each other represents a depression, a steep slope, an error in mapping, a ridge line. Here the right answer will be an error in mapping. If the two contour lines meeting in any place, that will be a steep slope or cliff. But if one contour line crosses other contour lines, you can understand that there is an error in the mapping. Question 82. Which type of contour is represented with small tick marks pointing inward? Index contour, supplementary contour, depression contour, benchmark contour. Here the right answer will be depression contour. Question 83. Contour lines that are very close together indicate a gentle slope, steep slope, river, valley, a plateau. Here the right answer will be steep slope. Means if the contour lines are very close, then contour intervals will be closer to each other places, and that shows a steep slope. What does a hatchet contour line represent? A glacial valley, an area of steep incline, a depression or basin, a river meander. Here the right answer will be a depression or basin. When contour lines form a U or V shape, the open end usually points uphill, downhill, parallel to elevation toward the river source. Here the right answer will be downhill. Geomorphological features on topographical maps. A plateau is identified on a topographical map by contours forming concentric circles with a decreasing elevation, closely packed contours, a relatively flat area with some contour variation, contours that run parallel to a river. Here the right answer will be a relatively flat area with some contour variation. Question number 87. Which landform is represented by a closed contour with a highest value in the center? Basin, hill, valley, escarpment. Here the right answer will be hill. Means that the contour values or the elevation is decreases towards the outside from the center, so it is hill. If that was decreases toward the center from the outside, that will be a depression. Question 88. A meandering river on a topographical map is characterized by a straight channel, a large looping curves, rapid elevation changes, uniformly spaced contour lines. Here the right answer will be large looping curves. Meandering river. What is meandering river? Meandering river where the channel is curved. That type of river is called meandering river. If you quantify which river is meandering, which is braided, or which is straight river, you have to understand, or you have to calculate the sinuosity index, means the aerial distance and the curved distance by aerial distance. If it is 1, it is a little bit impossible, then it will be straight channel. If it is more than 1.5, then it will be meandering channel, right? Question 89. Which feature is not typically represented using contour lines? Sand dunes, volcanic craters, rivers, fault lines. So the right answer will be fault lines. You can't represent typically using the contour lines in case of fault lines. Question 90. A sharp cliff is indicated by a single contour line, contour spaced widely apart, contour merging together, hatchet, depression, contours. Here the right answer will be contours merging together. That is called as cliff. Mapping techniques and scale. The scale of a 1:50,000 map means that 1 centimeter on the map represents 50,000 centimeter in reality. 1 meter on the map represents 50,000 meter in reality. The map covers an area of 50,000 square kilometer. The contour interval is 50 meters. So the right answer will be 1 centimeter on the map represents 50,000 centimeter in reality. But it is also the correct answer. 1 meter on the map represents 50,000 meters in reality, but it is the more accurate answer. Okay. Question 92. A large scale map shows a larger area with less detail, a smaller area with more details, a global representation, no relief features. So the right answer will be smaller area with more detail. Question 93. The most common projection used for topographical maps is Mercator projection, Robinson projection, conic projection, orthographic projection. Here the right answer will be conic projection. Question 94. Which of the following tools is used to measure elevation on a map? Clinometer, barometer, altimeter, all of the above. Here the right answer will be altimeter. All of the above is not the right answer because barometer is used for measuring the atmospheric pressure, clinometer is used for measuring the slope, and altimeter is for measuring the elevation. Question 95. A grid reference system on a topographical map consists of only latitude and longitude, alphanumeric codes, northings and eastings, compass bearing. Here the right answer will be northing and easting. GPS, remote sensing and GIS in topographical mapping. Question 96. Which of the following remote sensing techniques is commonly used for topographical mapping? LiDAR, sonar, radar, both A and C. Yes, both A and C means LiDAR and radar. Light detection and ranging, sound detection and ranging, radio detection and ranging. Question 97. Digital elevation models are commonly generated using satellite images, GPS survey data, LiDAR scanning, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Satellite images, SAR satellite images, synthetic aperture radar satellite images, GPS survey also, and light detection and ranging process also. Question 98. False color satellite image is used to highlight elevation changes, show vegetation density, detect water bodies, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. False color composite is near infrared, red and green. This color combination of satellite images creates false color composite because near infrared shows the vegetation or forest area in red color. Question 99. Which software is commonly used for GIS based topographical analysis? ArcGIS, QGIS, Google Earth Engine, all of the above. The right answer will be all of the above. Question number 100. Which coordinate system is most precise for GIS based topographical mapping? UTM, Universal Transverse Mercator, latitude, longitude, British National Grid, ECEF, Earth Centered, Earth Fixed. Here the right answer will be UTM, Universal Transverse Mercator. To calculate any distance accurately, UTM projection is very much applicable than other projections. On category interpretation of topographical symbols. Question number 101. The symbol for a perennial river on a topographical map is typically a dashed blue line, a solid blue line, a thick black line, a green shaded area. Here the right answer will be a solid blue line because this is a perennial river, means all time there are water in the river, not a dryland river. Okay. Question number 102. Benchmarks on a topographical map indicate contour lines, exact elevation points, latitude and longitude, magnetic declination. Here the right answer will be exact elevation points, means exact elevation from the mean sea level, right? Not relative altitude, it's a absolute altitude. Question number 103. A settlement is usually represented by contour lines, black squares or clusters, red lines, dashed grid lines, black squares or clusters, but sometimes it is red squares and clusters. Settlement. 104. The symbol for a forested area is typically green shading, blue dots, brown contour lines, a red polygon. Here the right answer will be green shading. Where is the forest or vegetation, there will be the green. 105. The contour interval of a map depends on the scale of the map, the terrain relief, the purpose of the map, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above, means the scale of the map, the terrain relief, and the purpose of the map. Question category advanced contour analysis, and the question number is 106. Contour lines spaced unevenly indicate a uniform slope, a variable slope, a flat terrain, a vertical cliff. Here the right answer will be a variable slope. If it is evenly spaced, then it will be uniform slope, and very close to each other, then it will be vertical cliff, and very spaced, then it will be flat terrain where the altitudinal or relative relief is less. 107. Which feature is best identified using contour lines? Population, density, elevation changes, road networks, political boundaries. Here the right answer will be elevation changes. Contour is shows elevation, and using the contour line is nothing but the line joining points of same elevation. Question number 108. When contour lines are far apart at the top and close together at the bottom, this represents a convex slope, a concave slope, a plateau, a valley. Here the right answer will be a concave slope. When the contour lines are far apart at the top and close together at the bottom. Question number 109. The highest point on a hill is indicated by the innermost contour line with the highest value, the depression contour, the benchmark symbol, the perpendicular line. Here the right answer will be the innermost contour line with the highest value is the highest point on a hill. Question 110. Contour lines that form a loop with no other lines inside it indicate a cliff, a river, a peak or hill, a valley. Here the right answer will be a peak or hill, where the contour lines form a loop with no other lines inside it. Category hydrological and river features. Question number 111. What is the primary factor influencing river meandering patterns on a topographical map? Wind speed, soil type, gradient and topography, magnetic declination. Here the right answer will be gradient and topography. Other things are not exactly or directly related to the river meander. Question 112. A tributary river is identified as separate water body, a smaller river merging into a larger one, a lake surrounded by contours, a linear road feature. Here the right answer will be a smaller river merging into a larger one. Question 113. A waterfall is indicated on a topographical map when contour lines are widely spaced. Contour lines merge and cross a river. The river follows parallel contours. There are no contour lines. So the right answer will be contour lines merge and cross a river. It's called a waterfall contour lines. Question 114. A delta is best identified on a topographical map by a V-shaped contour pattern, a branching network at a river mouth, an area with no contour lines, a circular feature. Here the right answer will be a branching network at a river mouth. And another thing is circular feature. 115. The term Oxbow Lake refers to a man-made water reservoir, a lake formed due to river meandering, a lake at a mountain summit, a deep sea trench. Here the right answer will be a lake formed due to river meandering. Question category map projection and coordinate systems. Question number 116. The main advantage of a Mercator projection is distortion of equatorial regions, distortion of polar regions, inaccuracy in small scale mapping, lack of latitudinal representation. Here the right answer will be distortion of polar regions. So it is suitable for equatorial region, is Mercator projection. 117. The UTM Universal Transverse Mercator system is preferred for topographical maps because it divides the earth into 60 zones for higher accuracy. It is easier to use than latitude longitude. It eliminates distortion in measurements, and last option is all of the above, and also here the right answer will be all of the above. Question 118. Topographical maps use which type of scale? Linear scale, verbal scale, ratio scale, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Graphical scale also. 119. Which coordinate system is most useful for precise land surveying? UTM, geographic latitude longitude, Cartesian coordinate system, and polar coordinate system. Here the right answer will be UTM or Universal Transverse Mercator, where the area distortion is 0. 120. A datum in topographical mapping is a fixed reference point for elevation, a time zone used on maps, a map legend component, a mapping error. Here the right answer will be a fixed reference points for elevation. It's called as a datum. Question category symbols and interpretation. Question number 121. What does a dashed black line usually represent on a topographical map? A major highway, a seasonal road or rail, a river, a railway. Here the right answer will be a seasonal road or trail is dashed black line in the toposheet or topographical map. Question 122. The color green on a topographical map typically represents water bodies, vegetation of forested areas, man-made structures, and mountain peaks. Here the right answer will be vegetation of forested areas. Every vegetation of forested areas shows in green in the topographical map and blue for the water bodies in topographical maps. Okay. Question 123. What is the meaning of a blue dotted line? A perennial stream, a dry riverbed, or seasonal stream, a glacier boundary, a walking trail? Here the right answer will be a dry riverbed or seasonal stream, shows in toposheet as a blue dotted line. A continuous blue line shows the perennial river. Okay, this you can say that dry or seasonal river, also ephemeral river. Question 124. How are railway tracks represented on a topographical map? A single black line, a black line with perpendicular cross marks, a red dashed line, a thick blue line. Here the right answer will be a black line with perpendicular cross marks of railway tracks in the toposheet. Question 125. What does BM means benchmark? 215.3 indicate on a topographical map a benchmark with an elevation of 215.3 meters, a boundary marker, a meteorological station, a military checkpoint. Here the right answer will be a benchmark with an elevation of 215.3 meters because it is mentioned as BM 215.3. Practical applications and GIS integration category. Question number 126. Which of the following is not a common GIS software used for topographical mapping? ArcGIS, QGIS, Photoshop, Google Earth Engine. Here the right answer will be Photoshop. It is not a GIS software. Question 127. DEM means digital elevation model. Data is commonly used in flood risk analysis, land use planning, hydrological modeling, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above means flood risk map and mapping and analysis, land use planning, and hydrological modeling. Question 128. Which satellite sensor is most commonly used for terrain mapping? Mode is SRTM, Shuttle Radar Topography Mission, AVHRR, Landsat OLI. Here the right answer will be SRTM shuttle radar topography mission. This is a radar data which shows the elevation. You can show the terrain using elevation. Question 129. Which factor is most important when choosing satellite imagery for topographical studies? Cloud cover, spatial resolution, temporal resolution. Here the right answer will be all of the above, means cloud cover, spatial resolution, temporal resolution also. Question 130. The primary advantage of LiDAR for topographical mapping is light detection and ranging, ability to penetrate cloud cover, high accuracy in elevation measurement, low cost compared to satellite imagery, dependence on sunlight for data collection. Here the right answer will be high accuracy in elevation measurement. Question of the category contours and elevation interpretation. Question number 131. Which type of slope is represented by contour lines that are evenly spaced, convex, concave, uniform and irregular? Here the right answer will be uniform slope. Question 132. Contour lines that form concentric circles with decreasing elevation toward the center represent a hill, a valley, a depression, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a depression. Contour lines that form concentric circles with decreasing elevation towards the center. If increasing, that will be a hill. Question 133. A ridge line is identified on a topographical map by contours forming a U-shape pointing downhill, contours forming a V-shaped pointing downhill, uphill, a steep drop in contour values, a flat terrain with no contours. Here the right answer will be contours forming a U-shape pointing downhill. Question number 134. The difference in elevation between two adjacent contour lines is called as contour gap, contour elevation range, contour interval, relief displacement. Here the right answer will be contour interval. Question 135. If a 1:50,000 scale map has a contour interval of 20 meters, what does this represent? Each contour represents a 50,000 meter elevation difference. Every two contour lines are 20 meters apart in real elevation. The map covers an area of 50,000 square meters. Each contour represents 50 meters of elevation change. Here the right answer will be every two contour lines are 20 meters apart in real elevation. Here the scale is not a matter. Here the matter is 20 meters of contour intervals. Question category hydrological features of river systems. Question 136. Which symbol represents an intermittent stream on a topographical map? A solid blue line, a dashed blue line, a thick black line, a red dashed line. Here the right answer will be a dashed blue line for ephemeral or dryland rivers. You can say as intermittent stream. Question 137. A river valley is usually indicated on a topographical map by contour lines forming a V shape pointing upstream, contour lines forming a U shaped pointing up downhill, parallel contour lines without any elevation change, a completely enclosed contour loop. Here the right answer will be contour lines forming a V shape pointing upstream. A river valley is usually indicated as V-shaped pointing upstream, means this V point is towards the upstream. Question 138. What feature is commonly found where contour lines cross a river? Waterfall, bridge, meander, rapids. Here the right answer will be rapids. Question 139. In a topographical profile, a steep cliff near a river is best represented by closely packed contour lines, a wide gap between contour lines, a completely blank area, a grid reference with no elevation details. closely packed contour lines. Question 140. How can underground water sources be identified on a topographical map? Contours forming closed loops, symbols indicating wells or springs, dotted brown contour lines, red boundary lines. Here the right answer will be symbols indicating wells or springs. Question category landforms and terrain features. Question number 141. A plateau is represented on a topographical map by a flat area with widely spaced contour lines around it, a closely packed contour lines forming a peak, a cluster of depression contours forming a V shape. Here the right answer will be a flat area with widely spaced contour lines around it. Question 142. Which terrain feature is commonly identified by parallel contour lines? Cliff, ridge, floodplain, escarpment. Here the right answer will be floodplain. Question 143. A pass or saddle between two peaks is represented on a topographical map by contour lines forming concentric circles, a gap between two high elevation areas, a depression contour with HR marks, contour merging together at sharp angles. Here the right answer will be gap between two high elevation areas. Question 144. The steepest side of a mountain is identified by the side with most widely spaced contour lines, the side with closest contour lines, the side with highest peak, the side without contour representation. Here the right answer will be the side with closest contour lines. Question 145. A volcanic crater is usually represented by a circular depression with hatchet contour lines, a smooth surface with no contour lines, a random set of contour patterns, a blue colored area. Here the right answer will be circular depression with hatchet contour lines. It shows as volcanic crater. Question category scale symbols and map interpretation. Question number 146. What does a black dot symbolize on a topographical map? A peak, a settlement, a railway station, a benchmark. Here the right answer will be a settlement. Black box. Question 147. Which color is used to represent urban areas on most topographical maps? Green, brown, red or grey, blue? Here the right answer will be red or grey. Because green is for vegetation of forest, brown is for contours or elevation, and blue is for water bodies or rivers. Question 148. What is a symbol for a marsh or swamp on a topographical map? Green with blue horizontal lines, a solid blue patch, brown dashed lines, a blue dot pattern. Here the right answer will be green with blue horizontal lines. Is shows the swamp or marsh area. Question 149. A perennial lake is shown on a topographical map as a solid blue area, a blue area with a dashed edges, a white area with contour lines, a brown shaded area. Here the right answer will be a solid blue area for lake. Perennial lake means permanent lake. Question 150. How are boundaries of national parks usually represented? Red or green boundary lines, a black dashed line, a solid brown line, a blue dashed line. Here the right answer will be red or green boundary lines. Category GIS and remote sensing in topographical mapping. Question 151. Which satellite system is primarily used for global terrain mapping? GPS, Landsat, Sentinel-2 and SRTM. Here the right answer will be SRTM, Shuttle Radar Topography Mission. Question 152. Which technology is best for high resolution terrain elevation data? LiDAR, sonar, MODIS, AVHRR. Here the right answer will be LiDAR. It gives the high resolution terrain elevation data. 153. DEM digital elevation models are most commonly derived from aerial photographs, LiDAR and satellite data, topographical survey, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. Question 154. What does NDVI, normalized difference vegetation index, measures in GIS based topographical analysis? Elevation variation, vegetation health, soil erosion, river discharge. Here the right answer will be vegetation health. Question 155. Which GIS software is widely used for terrain analysis? Microsoft Excel, ArcGIS, AutoCAD, Photoshop. The right answer will be ArcGIS. Question category: contour features and elevation representation. Question number 156. Which of the following is not a characteristic of contour lines? They never cross each other. They indicate elevation changes. They form closed loops or extend beyond the map. They can merge to indicate a flat surface. Here the right answer will be they can merge to indicate a flat surface. Where the flat surface, there the contour intervals are more. Question 157. A cliff is represented on a topographical map by contour lines forming concentric circles, contour lines that are widely spaced, contour lines that are very close together to or touch a U-shaped pattern. Here the right answer will be contour lines that are very close together or can touch each other. Question 158. Hatchet contour lines indicate a valley, a depression or crater, a plateau, a river bed. Here the right answer will be a depression or crater. Question 159. Which contour interval could be most appropriate for mapping mountainous terrain? 1 meter, 5 meter, 20 meter, 100 meter. Here the right answer will be 100 meter. Otherwise, the contour lines will be merged. 160. What type of feature is indicated when contour lines form a U-shaped pointing downhill? A hill, a ridge, a valley, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a ridge. Question category: river systems and hydrological mapping. Question number 161. In which direction does a river flow on a topographical map? From lower to higher contour lines, from higher to lower contour lines, opposite to the V shape of contour lines, both B and C. Here the right answer will be from higher to lower contour lines, contour values. Here the answer is wrong. Question 162. A delta is best identified on a topographical map by a circular contour pattern, a network of distributary channels at a river mouth, a depression with hatchet lines, a high plateau. The right answer will be a network of distributary channels at a river mouth. Question 163. What does a perennial river look like on a topographical map? A solid blue line, a dashed blue line, a black solid line, a red dashed line. Here the right answer will be a solid blue line. Question 164. A meandering river is represented on a topographical map as a straight blue line, a series of sharp turns and loops, a dashed black line, a cluster of depression contours. Here the right answer will be a series of sharp turns and loops. There is no color representation of a meandering river. Differently, there is color representation of a river, whether it is perennial or non-perennial. Question 165. A braided river can be recognized on a topographical map by a single straight river channel, a several interconnected channels separated by islands, a dashed blue line, contour lines forming concentric circles. Here the correct answer will be several interconnected channels separated by islands. That is the feature of braided river, and it is shown like its feature, not symbologically. Category: landforms and terrain features. 166. A verte is best represented on a topographical map by a circular contour pattern with steep elevation change, a V-shaped contour pattern, a depression with hatchet lines, a plateau with widely spaced contours. Here the right answer will be a circular contour pattern with steep elevation change. Question 167. The widest contour spacing is typically found in mountainous region, river valleys, plateaus and plains, coastal cliffs. So the right answer will be plateaus and plains, where the widest contour patterns is seen. Question 168. Drumlin hills are formed by tectonic activity, wind erosion, glacial deposition, river erosion. Here the right answer will be glacial deposition. Question 169. What type of feature is represented by concentric contour lines with increasing elevation? Options are a valley, a hill or mountain peak, a depression, a lake. Here the right answer will be a hill or mountain peak. What type of feature is represented by concentric contours lines with increasing elevation? A hill or mountain peak. Question 170. A sand dune is most commonly found in which type of terrain? Coastal plains, mountainous areas, river valleys, desert regions. Here the right answer will be desert regions. But of course, coastal plains and river valleys it can be seen, but less. In desert region there will be only sand dune. But in coastal plains or river valleys there are so many landform features other than sand dunes. Symbol, scale and map representation. 171. What color is used to represent forest areas on a topographical map? Green, blue, brown, red. Here the right answer will be green. Question 172. Which of the following scales is commonly used in topographical map? 1 is to 10,000, 50,000, 1 lakh, all of the above. Here the right answer will be all of the above. But in case of most survey of India topographical map, it is 1 is to 50,000. Question 173. What does BM benchmark 320.5 indicate on a topographical map? A benchmark with an elevation of 320.5 meter, a boundary marker at 320.5 meters distance, a river depth measurement, a meteorological station. The right answer will be, of course, a benchmark with an elevation of 320.5 meters. Question 174. A dotted black line on a topographical map usually represents a major highway, a seasonal road or footpath, a river, railway track. Here the right answer will be a seasonal road or footpath. Question 175. What does a black square represent on a topographical map? A settlement or building, a water tank, a benchmark, a railway junction. Here the right answer will be a settlement or building. At the same time, along with the black square, sometimes it is a red square also to show the settlement or building. Now the category GIS and remote sensing topographical mapping. Question 176. Which remote sensing technology is most accurate for terrain elevation modeling? Mode is LiDAR, VHRR, Landsat. Here the right answer will be LiDAR, light detection and ranging. Question 177. A digital terrain model DTM represents elevation data with only natural features, elevation data including man-made structures, a detailed road network, climate conditions of a region. Here the right answer will be elevation data with only natural features. Question 178. Which GIS tool is used to derive contour lines from DTM data? Interpolation, classification, buffer analysis, clipping. Here the right answer will be interpolation of different contour values. Question 179. Which satellite mission provides global 30-meter resolution elevation data? Astra, GDEM, Sentinel-2, GPS mode. Here the right answer will be Astra, GDEM. At the same time, SRTM also gives the 30-meter resolution and elevation data. At the same time, Copernicus Glucodem, which also gives 30-meter spatial resolution elevation data, which is more accurate. Question 180. What is the purpose of slope analysis in GIS-based topographical studies? To analyze water flow and erosion patterns, to detect soil fertility, to measure atmospheric pressure, to track wildlife movements. The right answer will be to analyze water flow and erosion patterns. Category contour features, elevation and representation. Question 181. What do closely spaced contour lines on a topographical map indicate? A flat terrain, steep slope, a river valley, a plateau? Here the right answer will be steep slopes, where the more relative relief is located, there will be the closely spaced contour lines. 182. If contour lines are widely spaced apart, what does it represent? A steep gradient, a gentle slope of flat terrain, the narrow valley, a cliff. Here the right answer will be a gentle slope of flat terrain. Question 183. Which type of slope is characterized by contour lines that are closer together at the top and wider at the bottom? Concave slope, convex slope, uniform slope, irregular slope. Here the right answer will be convex slope. Means the cone-like shape of the surface features. 184. When contour lines cross a river, what shape do they form? U shape pointing uphill, V shape pointing upstream, V shape pointing downstream, circular shape. Here the right answer will be V shape pointing upstream. Will be the river. 185. What does a spot height represent on a topographical map? The highest point in a region, the lowest elevation in a region, a specific point with an exact elevation marked, the average elevation on a flat. Here the right answer will be a specific point with an exact elevation marked. River systems and hydrological features. Question 186. A waterfall is best identified on a topographical map by rapid change in contour values along a river. A blue dashed line, a depression contour pattern, say U-shaped valley. Here the right answer will be a rapid change in contour values along a river. Question 187. What is the most reliable indicator of a flat plane on a topographical map? A cluster of depression contours, a wide flat area with a meandering river, a steep cliff along a river, closely packed contour line. Say the right answer will be wide flat area with a meandering river. Question 188. What type of drainage pattern develops in areas with uniform resistance to erosion? Radial, dendritic, rectangular, trellis. Here the right answer will be dendritic. Question 189. Which of the following is not a characteristic of a meandering river? It forms oxbow lakes, it has subveins, it follows a straight course, it deposits sediment on the inside of bands. Inside of veins. And the right answer will be it follows straight course. If it follows straight course, it will be straight river, not a meandering river, right? Question 190. Rapids in a river are most likely indicated on a topographical map by contours showing a sudden drop in elevation, a lake symbol, a smooth curved contour pattern, a circular depression. Contours showing a sudden drop in elevation. All these features like rapids, neck point, etc. are mostly depends on the altitude. Mostly not, it only depends on altitude, and altitude values are shown in topographical map by contours. Landforms and terrain features. Question 191. A mesa is best represented on a topographical map by contour lines forming a flat-topped hill with steep sides, a continuous ridge pattern, a circular representation with hatchers, a gently sloping hill with sparse contour lines. Here the right answer will be contour lines forming a flat-topped hill with steep sides. Question 192. What feature is commonly indicated by a series of parallel contour lines? A fault scarp, a glacial moraine, a floodplain, a plateau. Here the right answer will be a plateau. Question 193. Escarpments are typically shown on a topographical map by closely spaced contour lines on one side and widely spaced on the other. A circular pattern of contours, a V-shaped pattern of contours, a continuous blue line. Here the right answer will be closely spaced contour lines on one side and widely spaced on the other. Question 194. The lowest elevation in a basin is typically marked by a depression contour with hatcher marks, a peak symbol, a benchmark, a river junction. Here the right answer will be a depression contour with hatcher marks. Question 195. A pass or col in a mountain range is best represented by a low area between two peaks, a circular cluster of contour lines a flat plateau, a meandering river. Here the right answer will be a low area with between two peaks. Symbol scale and interpretation. 196. What does a red line usually represent on a topographical map? A railway line, a primary road, or a highway, a river, a forest boundary? Here the right answer will be a primary road or highway. Question 197. What is the main advantage of a 1:50,000 scale map? It covers large area with great detail. It shows only small areas in great detail. It cannot be used for navigation. It does not include contours. Yeah, the right answer will be it covers a large area with great detail. Question 198. How is a dam usually represented on a topographical map? A thick blue line across a river, a dashed black line, a brown contour loop, a red triangle. Here the right answer will be a thick blue line across a river. 199. A quarry or mine is usually indicated on a topographical map by black square, a symbol with crossed pixaces, a red star, a blue circle. Here the right answer will be symbol with crossed peak axis. Question 200. What does a green shaded area on a topographical map usually represented? Water body, hilltop area, forest area, a rocky desert. Here the right answer will be a forest area. Green means forest, blue means water, and dotted means seasonal, and continuous means non-seasonal or perennial. GIS and remote sensing in topographical mapping. Question 201. Which GIS tool is commonly used for terrain analysis? Georeferencing, DEM digital elevation model, buffer analysis, data classification. Here the right answer will be DEM or digital elevation model. Question 202. Which remote sensing technique is best for detecting vegetation density? LiDAR, NDVI, normalized difference vegetation index, sonar, GPS. Here the right answer will be NDVI or normalized difference vegetation index. Here the question is detecting vegetation density. This vegetation index will be impactful or applicable for this. Question 203. What does SRTM, Shuttle Radar Topography Mission, provide? Aerial photography, high resolution elevation data, satellite weather forecasting, geological rock composition. Here the right answer will be high resolution elevation data, where the resolution is 30 meter or pixel size is 30 meter. Question 204. Which GIS software is widely used for analyzing topographic data? Google Earth, ArcGIS, Adobe Photoshop, AutoCAD. Here the right answer will be ArcGIS. Question 205. Which dataset is commonly used to generate global elevation models? Landsat, SRTM, AVHRR, MODIS. Here the right answer will be SRTM. Contour features and elevation representation. Question 106. What does a series of concentric contour lines with decreasing values towards the center represent? A hill, a valley, a depression, a ridge. Here the right answer will be a depression, because it is decreasing towards the center. So it will be depression. Question 207. The contour interval of a map is 10 meters. If there are 5 contour lines between 2 points, what is the total elevation change? 50 meter, 100 meter, 10 meters and 5 meters. Here the right answer will be 50 meters, because contour interval 10 meter and there are 5 lines. So 5 multiplied by 10 equal to 50. So it will be more than 50 or exactly 50, but not less than 50. Question 208. What is the best method to determine the steepest slope between 2 points on a topographical map? Find the shortest horizontal distance between the contour lines, count the total number of contour lines, measure the distance between the highest and the lowest points, look for the widest spacing between contours. So the right answer will find the shortest horizontal distance between the contour lines. 209. Which feature is represented by contour lines that form a U-shaped with the closed end pointing towards the lower elevation? A ridge, a valley, a plateau, a depression. Here the right answer will be a valley. Question 210. If a contour line encircles a hill but has no elevation marking, how can you determine its height? By checking the index contour lines nearby, by measuring the map scale, by using the legend, by looking at the nearest river. Here the right answer will be by checking the index contour lines nearby. River systems and hydrological features. 211. What feature is commonly associated with a river's source area? A floodplain, a high elevation region, a meandering channel, a delta. Here the right answer will be a high elevation region. Question 212. A river terrace is best represented on a topographical map by parallel contour lines on both sides of the river, a cluster of contour loops, a sharp drop in contour lines, a U-shaped pattern. Here the right answer will be parallel contour lines on both sides of a river. Question 213. What is the primary characteristics of a youthful river? Meandering path, steep gradient and V-shaped valley, wide floodplain, well-developed delta. Here the right answer will be steep gradient or steep slope and V-shaped valley. Means the mountainous river stage. 214. Which river feature is likely to form in a mature stage? Rapids, oxbow lakes, braided channels, waterfalls. The right answer will be oxbow lakes. It is seen in the meandering stretch of any river. 215. What does a dendritic drainage pattern indicate? Faulted terrain, uniform rock resistance, glacial influence, volcanic region. Here the right answer will be uniform rock resistance. Landforms and terrain features. What does a saddle look like on a topographical map? Two closely spaced peaks with a lower elevation between them, a deep valley, a steep cliff, a closed circular contour. Here the right answer will be two closely spaced peaks with a lower elevation between them. Question 217. How can an escarpment be identified on a topographical map? By widely spaced contour lines, by very closely spaced contour lines on one side and widely spaced on the other, by a V-shaped pattern, by a series of concentric circles. So the right answer will be by very closely spaced contour lines on one side and widely spaced on the other. 218. What does a coastal dune system look like on a topographical map? Parallel contour lines along the shoreline, small closed contour lines with varying elevation, a single blue line, a flat uniform area. Here the right answer will be small closed contour lines with varying elevation. 219. What type of topographical feature is usually found along tectonic plate boundaries? Plains, rift valleys, oxbow lakes, floodplains. So the right answer will be, of course, the rift valleys. Question 220. What does a cuesta typically look like on a topographical map? Steep slope on one side and gentle slope on the other, a flat plateau, a U-shaped valley, a circular depression. Here the right answer will be steep slope on one side and gentle slope on the other. Symbol, scale and interpretation. Question 221. Which map scale is best for detailed land surveys? 1:2, 2,50,000, 1:1 lakh, 1:50,000 and 1:10,000. Of course, the better, the smaller the scale has smaller the details, so large scale means 1:10,000 will be the right answer. Large scale, more detailed. Question 222. Which symbol on a topographical map represents a marsh or swamp? Green shading with blue horizontal lines, a solid blue line, a dashed black line, brown contour lines. Here the right answer will be green shading with blue horizontal lines. Question 223. A black square on a topographical map typically represents a bridge, a building, a water tank, a benchmark. Here the right answer will be a building, means the settlement. Question 224. What type of map projection is commonly used for topographical maps? Mercator, UTM Universal Transverse Mercator, Robinson Moloid. Here the right answer will be Universal Transverse Mercator. Question 225. What does the term relief refer to on a topographical map? The stiffness of a slope, the difference between the highest and lowest elevations, the depth of water bodies, the color scheme used in the map. Here the right answer will be the difference between the highest and lowest elevations is called the relief. But when it is relative relief or absolute relief, absolute relief is the difference between the highest and the mean sea level, and the relative relief is difference between the highest and lowest elevations of any place. That will be the relative relief of that place. GIS and remote sensing in topographical mapping. Question 226. Which remote sensing technique is best for detecting changes in land elevation? LiDAR, GPS, MODIS, NDVI. Here the right answer will be LiDAR. 227. Which satellite imagery source provides the highest spatial resolution for terrain analysis? Landsat, Sentinel, QuickBird, MODIS. So the right answer will be QuickBird. Question 228. Which GIS function is used to extract elevation profiles from DEMS? Buffering, interpolation, contour extraction, clipping. Here the right answer will be contour extraction. Question 229. Which dataset is widely used for global topographical data? MODIS, SRTM, Landsat, 8 Spot. Here the right answer will be SRTM. Question 230. Which GIS software is commonly used for processing topographical maps? ArcGIS, Adobe Illustrator, Excel, Photoshop. Here the right answer will be ArcGIS. Contour features and elevation representation. What is the characteristic feature of a convex slope on a topographical map? Contour lines are evenly spaced. Contour lines are closer at the bottom and wider at the top. Contour lines are closer at the top and wider at the bottom. No clear pattern of contour lines. Here the right answer will be contour lines are closer at the top and wider at the bottom, means the slope is high in the top and less in the bottom area. That is called as convex slope. And the opposite will be the concave slope, means the contour lines are closer at the bottom and wider at the top. No, that's not. The contour lines are closer at the top and wider at the bottom is the convex slope. Concave slope is different. It is a valley-like condition. Question 232. If two peaks are close together with a lower elevation in between, what is this feature called? Cliff, pass, ridge, plateau. Here the right answer will be pass or col. Question 233. A hill with a flat top is known as plateau, mesa, valley, cliff. Here the right answer will be mesa. Question 234. What do hatcher marks on a contour line indicate? A depression, a peak, a river valley, a cliff. Here the right answer will be a depression. Question 235. What is the approximate shape of contour lines around a peak? Circular or oval, V-shaped, zigzag, parallel lines. Here the right answer will be circular or oval. River systems and hydrological features. Question 236. What type of drainage pattern develops over a volcanic cone? Dendritic, radial, rectangular, trellis. Of course, it will be radial. Question 237. The feature where a river bends and loops is known as George Oxbow Lake meander watershed. Here the right answer will be meander. When the Oxbow Lake, there will be the water body isolated from the main river. Question 238. What does a disappearing stream indicate on a topographical map? A steep gradient, a karst landscape, a braided river, a flat plain. Here the right answer will be a karst landscape. Question 239. Which feature forms where a river enters a standing body of water and deposits sediment? Floodplain, delta, alluvial fan, estuary. Here the right answer will be delta. Question 240. The meandering point of two rivers is called a watershed, river junction, tributary, confluence. So the right answer will be confluence. The meeting point of two rivers is called as confluence. Landforms and terrain features. 241. What type of valley is formed by a glacier? V-shaped valley, U-shaped valley, canyon, rift valley, U-shaped valley. And V-shaped valley created by river, but glacier, U-shaped valley. Question 242. What feature is indicated by closely spaced contour lines on one side and widely spaced on the other? Steep slope, escarpment, ridge, depression. Here the right answer will be escarpment. Question 243. Which landform is commonly associated with desert topography? Sand dunes, karst formations, braided rivers, delta. Here the right answer will be sand dunes. Question 244. What type of rock formation is associated with an escarpment? Sedimentary layers, igneous intrusion, glacial till, loess deposits. Sedimentary layers will be the right answer. Question 245. What is a cuesta? A steep walled canyon, a ridge with a gentle slope on one side and a steep slope on the other, a glacial valley, a volcanic plateau. Here the right answer will be a ridge with a gentle slope on one side and a steep slope on the other. Symbols, scale and interpretation. Question 246. What does a blue color indicate on a topographical map? Vegetation, water bodies, roads, urban settlements. So the right answer will be water bodies. Question 247. Which feature It's indicated by a black dashed line on a topographical map. A highway, a footpath or trail, a river, a railway. A footpath or trail. Question 248. Which scale is best for a detailed study of a small town? 1 is to 10 lakh, 1 is to 2.5 lakh, 1 is to 50,000, 1 is to 10,000. Of course, 1 is to 10,000 because it is a large scale. When the large scale, there will be the more details. Question 249. What does a black triangle symbol represent on a topographical map? A railway station, a mountain peak, a benchmark, a ridge. A bridge. Here the right answer will be a benchmark. Question 250. Which of the following is not usually included in the legend of a topographical map? Contour interval, scale bar, road distances, symbol mountains. Here the right answer will be road distances. This is the last question of this video. Thanks for watching till the end, and of course thank you so much, and please like this video, share among your friends, and of course comment me if you have any query or suggestions for me. And I want to request on another thing is, please subscribe this channel and click on bell icon to get notification of each and every videos from my channel. Thank you.